हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। तो आज की वीडियो में हम देखने वाले हैं एनसीईआरटी ज्योग्राफी क्लास 8, जिसमें आज हम देखेंगे चैप्टर नंबर 6 जो कि है ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेस। तो शुरू करते हैं हमारा आज का चैप्टर। पीपल आर ए नेशंस ग्रेटेस्ट रिसोर्स। नेचर्स बाउंटी बिकम्स सिग्निफिकेंट ओनली व्हेन पीपल फाइंड इट यूजफुल. It is people with their demands and abilities that turn them into resources. Hence, human resource is the ultimate resource. Healthy, educated, and motivated people develop resources as per their requirements. Human resources, like other resources, are not equally distributed over the world. They differ in their educational levels, age, and sex. Their numbers and characteristics also keep changing. Do you know the Government of India has a Ministry of Human Resource Development? The ministry was created in 1985 with an aim to improve people's skills. This just shows how important people are as a resource for the country. Distribution of population. The way in which people are spread across the Earth's surface is known as the pattern of population distribution. More than 90% of the world's population lives in about 10% of the land surface. The distribution of population in the world is extremely uneven. Some areas are very crowded and some are sparsely populated. The crowded areas are South and Southeast Asia, Europe, and Eastern North America. Very few people live in high latitude areas, tropical deserts, high mountains, and areas of equatorial forest. Many more people live north of equator than south of the equator. Almost three-quarters of the world's people live in two continents, Asia and Africa. 60% of the world's people stay in just 10 countries. All of them have more than 100 million people. Density of population. Population density is the number of people living in a unit area of the Earth's surface. It is normally expressed as per square kilometer. The average density of population in the whole world is 45 persons per square kilometer. South Central Asia has the highest density of population, followed by East and Southeast Asia. Do you know average density of population in India is 324 persons per square kilometer? When all the 30 students are present, our classroom seems very crowded. But when the same class is seated in the school assembly, it seems so open and empty. Why? Because the size of the area of the hall is much larger than that of the classroom. However, when all the students of the school come into the hall too starts looking crowded. Factors affecting distribution of population. Geographical factors. Topography. People always prefer to live on plains rather than mountains and plateaus, because these areas are suitable for farming, manufacturing, and service activities. The Ganga Plains are the most densely populated areas of the world, while mountains like Andes, Alps, and Himalayas are sparsely populated. Climate. People usually avoid extreme climates that are very hot or very cold, like Sahara Desert, polar regions of Russia, Canada, and Antarctica. Soil. Fertile soils provide suitable land for agriculture. Fertile plains such as Ganga and Brahmaputra in India, Hanghe, Zhangjiang in China, and the Nile in Egypt are densely populated. Water. People prefer to live in the areas where fresh water is easily available. The river valleys of the world are densely populated, while deserts have spare population. Minerals. Areas with mineral deposits are more populated. Diamond mines of South Africa and discovery of oil in the Middle East led to settling of people in these areas. Social, cultural, and economic factors. Social. Areas of better housing, education, and health facilities are more densely populated. Example, Pune. Cultural. Places with religion or cultural significance attract people. Varanasi, Jerusalem, and Vatican City are some examples. Economic. Industrial areas provide employment opportunities. Large number of people are attracted to these areas. Osaka in Japan and Mumbai in India are two densely populated areas. Population change. The population change refers to change in the number of people during a specific time. The world population has not been stable. It has increased manifold as seen in the figure 6.3. Why? This is actually due to changes in the number of births and deaths. For an extremely long period of human history until the 1800s, the world's population grew steadily but slowly. Large number of babies were born, but they died early too. This was as there were no proper health facilities. Sufficient food was not available for all the people. Farmers were not able to produce enough to meet the food requirements of all the people. As a result, the total increase in population was very low. In 1820, the world's population reached 1 million. 150 years later, in the early 1970s, the world's population reached 3 billion. This is often called population explosion. In 1999, less than 30 years later, the population doubled to 6 billion. The main reason for this growth was that with better food supplies and medicine, deaths were reducing, while the number of births still remained fairly high. Births are usually measured using the birth rate, that means the number of live births per 1000 people. Deaths are usually measured using the death rate, that means the number of deaths per 1000 people. Migrations is the movement of people in and out of an area. Births and deaths are the natural causes of population change. The difference between the birth rate and the death rate of a country is called the natural growth rate. The population increase in the world is mainly due to rapid increase in natural growth rate. Life expectancy, it is the number of years that an average person can expect to live. Migration is another way by which population size changes. People may move within a country or between countries. Immigrants are people who leave a country. Emigrants are people who leave a country. Immigrants are those who arrive in a country. Countries like the United States of America and Australia have gained in numbers by in-migration or immigration. Sudan is an example of a country that has experienced a loss in population numbers due to out-migration or emigration. The general trend of international immigrations is from the less developed nations to the more developed nations in search of better employment opportunities. Within countries, large number of people may move from the rural to urban areas in search of employment, education, and health facilities. Immigration, when a person enters a new country. Emigration, when a person leaves a country. Patterns of population change. Rates of population growth vary across the world. Although the world's total population is rising rapidly, not all countries are experiencing this growth. Some countries like Kenya have high population growth rates. They had both high birth rates and death rates. Now, with improving healthcare, death rates have fallen, but birth rates still remain high, leading to high growth rates. In other countries like United Kingdom, population growth is slowing because of both low death and low birth rates. Population composition. How crowded a country is has little to do with its level of economic development. For example, both Bangladesh and Japan are very densely populated, but Japan is far more economically developed than Bangladesh. To understand the role of people as a resource, we need to know more about their qualities. People vary greatly in their age, sex, literacy level, health condition, occupation, and income level. It is essential to understand these characteristics of the people. Population composition refers to the structure of the population. The composition of population helps us to know how many are males or females, which age group they belong to, how educated they are, and what type of occupation they are employed in, what their income levels and health conditions are. An interesting way of studying the population composition of a country is by looking at the population pyramid, also called an S6 pyramid. A population pyramid shows the total population divided into various age groups, example 5 to 9 years, 10 to 14 years. The percentage of the total population subdivided into males and females in each of those groups. What is this triangular looking diagram? This is a population pyramid. Can I play detective and investigate the population of a country? Sure, let's study 3 countries. What's that? It shows the present number of males and females in a country along with their age groups. The shape of the population pyramid tells the story of the people living in that particular country. The numbers of children below 15 years are shown at the bottom and reflect the level of birth. The size of the top shows the numbers of aged people above 65 years and reflects the number of deaths. The population pyramid also tells us how many dependents there are in a country. There are 2 groups of dependents: young dependents aged below 15 years and elderly dependents aged over 65 years. Those of the working age are the economically active. The population pyramid of a country in which birth and death rates both are high is broad at the base and rapidly narrows towards the top. This is because although many children are born, a large percentage of them die in their infancy. Relatively few become adults and there are very few old people. This situation is typified by the pyramid shown for Kenya. In countries where death rates, especially amongst the very young, are decreasing, the pyramid is broad in the younger age groups because more infants survive to adulthood. This can be seen in the pyramid for India. Such populations contain a relatively large number of young people and which means a strong and expanding labor force. In countries like Japan, low birth rates make the pyramid narrow at the base. Decreased death rates allow number of people to reach old age. Skilled, spirited, and hopeful young people endowed with a positive outlook are the future of any nation. We in India are fortunate to have such a resource. They must be educated and provided skills and opportunity to become able and productive. और इसी साथ हमारा चैप्टर कंप्लीट हो गया है और ये है इस चैप्टर का एक्सरसाइज। तो क्योंकि ये इस बुक का लास्ट चैप्टर था तो हमने आज क्लास 8 का ज्योग्राफी बुक कंप्लीट कर लिया है। तो अगर आप चैनल पर नए हैं तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए और वीडियो को लाइक कर दीजिए और नोटिफिकेशन आइकन पर क्लिक कर दीजिए ताकि आपको सारे वीडियोस के अपडेट्स मिल सके। और अगर आपको वीडियो अच्छा लगे तो लाइक कर दीजिए, साथ ही अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर कीजिए ताकि उन्हें भी हेल्प हो सके। तो आज हमारा ये क्लास 7 का बुक कंप्लीट हो गया है। थैंक यू, थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग।